Evet. Kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. En son ne yaptık abi? Seni kurtardık. Burada teyzeye yardım ettik. Bu kadar. Hemen bakalım kayıt. Okey. Let's go.
Did you speak to that knight yesterday?
Bir dakika yine buna
Said he was
konuşuyor.
from Redcliffe.
He talked to everyone in the tavern. How are we supposed to know where the urn of sacred ashes is? Might as well ask us how to get to the moon.
He said that all the Redcliffe knights were looking for it, as if they didn't have anything better to do. I don't get it.
Hadi susun be. Yeğenin barınağı. Hı. Bakalım barınakta neler varmış abi.
Well,
Ne oluyor lan?
look what we have here, men. I think we've just been blessed.
Aa yine öldüreceğimiz biriler.
Loghain's men.
O bile Logain'i.
Didn't we spend all morning
Oo
asking
çok
about a
güzel.
fellow by this very description? And everyone said they hadn't seen him.
It seems we were.
En sevdiğim.
Gentlemen, surely there is no need for trouble. These are no doubt simply more poor souls seeking refuge.
They're more than that. Now stay out of our way, sister. You protect these traitors, you'll get the same as them.
Aynen kavga istiyor.
Right, let's make this quick.
Gelin abi Logain adamlarına. Acır mıyız biz? Nerede lan bir dur bir vuramıyorum. Heh. Şöyle al abi bunu.
All right, you've won. We surrender.
Ne oldu lan?
Good.
Boklayın.
They've learned their lesson and we can all stop fighting now.
Logain'e bir mesaj göndersen.
What do you want to tell him?
Yaptıklarını bedeni ödeyecek abi.
I'll tell him right away. Now,
Şimdi
thank
süpürdük.
you.
I apologize for interfering, but I couldn't just sit by and not help.
Hayatını kurtardı beni. Aynen
I
ha.
wasn't born in the Chantry, you know. Many of us had more. Let me introduce myself. I am
Diana.
Diana, one of the lay sisters of the Chantry here in Lothering. Oh, I was.
Ben Detlef.
Those men said you're a Grey Warden. You will be battling the... I know after what happened, you will need all the help you can get. That's why I'm coming along.
Hani nereden
The Maker
yapabilirsin?
told me to. I know that sounds absolute...
More crazy? I thought we were all full up.
Look at the people here. They are lost in their
Ulan
despair.
ya.
And this darkness, this chaos will spread. The
Allah'ım
Maker
ya.
doesn't want this. What you do, what you are meant to
Daha
do,
fazla
is
değil.
the Maker's work. Let me help.
Ulan ya. İyi gel.
Perhaps your skull was cracked worse than Mother thought.
Thank you. I appreciate being given this chance.
Sen gitsin.
Fashion.
Gel yana gel.
Indeed.
Abi ya. Aslında sakat mıydın lan? Al. Nasıl kullanacağız? Ha. Gitme bitmedi mi abi? Ha tamam. Konuşa bakalım sen de biraz. Bu yer hakkında ne biliyorsun?
Lothering? I think it started as a settlement, but there are always people in Lothering, but many are just passing through. Yes?
Konuşmak istiyorum.
Well, here I am. I knew this would come up sooner or later. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. I stood in a peak
Başı iblisimi gördün
and
lan.
watched as the darkness consumed everything. I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
Sonra ne oldu?
When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens as everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and not... It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith. In my dream I fell, or There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Blight devours everything? That is why you're a Grey Warden.
Dur daha bir konuşacak.
Well, here I am. Quiet. It was in the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry, but it was not perfect. Some of my chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose. When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself, they want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, he cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools. Thank you. Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to... But there is work to be done. Yes? Well, here I am. What is meant by someone like me?
Bu demek abi, şu an Morrigan'la bir şeyimiz var. Morrigan'ı aldatmıyordum.
Did you think I was always a cloistered sister? The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
Ondan önce ne
I
yapıyordun
was
sen
a
ya?
traveling minstrel in Orlais.
Hayır.
Tales and songs were my life. I performed. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up... Yes? Well,
Başka bir şey.
here I am. Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to... Chantry
Hadi
law
dinleyelim.
says it is man's pride that
Hikayeyi
created the
öğrenmek istiyorum.
Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tivit, in their pride, they thought their magics invincible. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, but they were impure and full of sin. The Maker cursed them and cast them from any land that was touched by the taint, became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline. A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. Yet, before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Aveline, for that is what they called her. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was Aveline's Dalish guardians, so that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney. Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring. Aveline had already bested him in the jousts, and out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and silence fell upon the arena as
Adam uyuyor
Aveline
lan.
was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat. The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that, and to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she, I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Şimdi senin hangisini desem ki? Bilmiyorum ya, merak ettim.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of... Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if... They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you. Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and then one day a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen, they lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Hyeva, Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. The demon possessed Flemeth, turning her into an abomination. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, they say she took to her side many chastened men, and with their help begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds. Which one? I have heard a little about how the elves gained when Andraste began her exalted march against the great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in the land of their own. The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. This angered the Chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open. The Chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves. During the exalted march of the Dales, some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered, but others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead, Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, but Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, so earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of them. Alas, it was her earthly husband, Mafarath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Mafarath, out of envy and spite, Mafarath made a pact with it. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter. I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw it? This question has come to me many times, and we will never know for sure.
Evet tamam hadi yeter.
Yes.
Bitti değil mi lan?
Here I.
Hadi gelin bebeğim.
What do you need?
Alistar. Halil.
I heard what you did with the others. I still don't have food to sell. Check the Chanter's board by the... I don't suppose you know anything about... I figured if I kept... I'd pay good coin for some simple poison. Something to slow them beasties down or make them think twice. Well, there's herbs in the North Wood. I don't really know what you need, though. I might have some...
Ne var lan sende? Al abi bu bokuma yaramıyor. Al şu gümüş. Bunlar kalsın. Ne var lan sende? Parlak altın yüzük. Altın sicim kolyesi. Al abi hediye. Bira hediye. Alalım abi. Bir tamamına gerek yok diyecektim. Bu ne lan? Bizimki daha iyi. Okey. Zehirli bir teklif. Üçlüsü yılan zehri. Önce bir şey yapalım bir. Ela'nın daha kaç tarafsız. Alistar'a bir şey yapmak istiyorum. Aslında abi sana biri vereyim.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
Hala tarafsız mı? Al sana. Abi Morrigan'a bir tane Altın sicim kolyesi vereceğim.
A fine gift. You
Yuh,
have my
artı
thanks.
8 verdi. Abi Liliana sana da para kalıp veriyorum.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Ha. Yetenek kazanıldı. Şeyi fullledik. Görev güncellendi. 3 şişe yılan zehri var mı bende yılan zehri? Var abi al. Al lan görev al görevi
Any luck
yapmış.
with that poison? Or you here to see my stock?
Al.
Splendid. Yeah. Enough gold.
İzeye bak. Harcadığımız parayı geri aldık. Güzel. Oyuna bir kaydedelim abi. Ne olur ne olmaz. Hoppa hoppa. Şimdi gidelim. Şu şeye vardı bir tane daha kız vardı. O yaşlı teyzenin yanında. Görev. Onu yapalım.
So Terran Logain
Benim şeyi merak ediyorum şimdi şu atışmaları nasıl olacak. Bir dakika ya.
That doesn't make any sense.
Probably political nonsense. We'll be lucky if they don't burn down the entire
Ne konuşuyor bu an yine?
throne.
Değil mi? Gelin bakayım. Şu Alistair'la Morgan yeni bir şey konuşacaklar mı?
So I take it
Huh?
you did not enjoy your Templar training?
That's directed at me, I take it.
Do you see any others about who have failed at their religious instruction?
I didn't fail, I was recruited into the Grey Wardens.
And if you had not been recruited, what would have happened instead?
I would have turned into a drooling lunatic, slaughtered the Grand Cleric, and run through the streets of Denham in my small clothes, I guess.
Your self-awareness does you credit.
I thought you'd like that.
Gelin lan. Şimdi bir daha bir tur şöyle bir döneceğim bir de. Başka yok mu? Alison. Önce fıçı. Kısa yay. Şeyde ne varmış? Bizim şeye bakalım. Liliana. Alsana bir de kısa yay verelim. Alison.
Hello, stranger. I
Ben.
don't suppose you know anyone that can make trap. I would happily pay you to make some. But you probably.
Baklar bir kızın iyi dostudur. İyi yapalım. Ne diyor? 3 tane yay tuzağı var mı bende? 3 tane yay tuzağı. 3 tane Gresya tuzağı var. Yay tuzağı yok ama. Peki abi. Yay tuzağı yapalım. Al sana 3 tane yay tuzağı yaptım.
Did you make any traps?
Al.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you, stranger. Thanks for the trap. I feel safer
Okay.
already.
Bir şeye bakacağım şuradan. Az önce tuzak yapmayı öğrendim. O kısmı acaba orayı nereden açıyoruz ki? Yok, grubu değiştirme. Tuzak yapımını. Değer yapımı. Ha. Ha. Okey. Yine bir abi kaydedelim. Bu bölümde yine abi şey oldu. Bayağı bir konuştuk. Pek bir şey yapamadık. O zaman abi bu bölümde burada bitsin. Bir dahaki bölümde şu görevi yapacağız. Ne o? Bahis panosu. Neymiş mesela? Tamam. Tamam, soyguncu öldüreceğiz. O zaman bir dahaki bölümde görüşmek üzere.